Hello students, today we will be learning how to represent a rational number on a number line. So first of all, what is a rational number? A rational number is any number which can be expressed in the form of x by y, where x and y both belong to the set of integers and y is not equal to 0 because y is in the denominator, so y cannot be equal to 0. So any number which can be expressed in the form of x by y, where x and y are integers and y is not equal to 0, is a rational number. So, like for example, 2 by 3 is a rational number, 5 by 6 is a rational number, also say 7 by 5 is a rational number. These are all positive rational numbers. We can have negative rational numbers as well. Say, for example, 3 by 5, minus 3 by 5, and minus, say, 9 by 2. These two are negative rational numbers. We can have positive rational numbers as well as negative rational numbers. Now, case 1, we are seeing that for the first number, 2 by 3, the numerator is less than the denominator. So we will be dealing with the rational numbers which have their numerators lesser than their denominators in case 1. Numbers of this type, 2 by 3 or 5 by 6 or minus 3 by 5, all these rational numbers are having their numerators lesser than the denominators. So the case 1 will be dealing with rational numbers where x is less than y. That is, the numerators, numbers which have their numerators less than their denominators. And where will these types of these rational numbers lie on the number line? If they are positive rational numbers like 2 by 3 and 5 by 6, they will be having a position between 0 and plus 1. And if it is a negative rational number, minus 3 by 5 for example, over here 3 is less than 5, so it belongs to case 1. But since it is a negative rational number, its place will be between 0 and minus 1. So numbers which have their numerators less than their denominators will have their positions between 0 and plus 1 or 0 and minus 1 depending on their signs. Now let us first of all take up a positive rational number 2 by 3 where the numerator 2 is less than the denominator 3. First of all, let us go to the text part. Since the number is 2 by 3, number is 2 by 3. So since the denominator is 3, we divide the interval between 0 and 1 because it is a positive rational number, so, and its numerator is less than the denominator because 2 is less than 3. Therefore, it will have its position between 0 and plus 1, between this, in this interval. So since now we are seeing that the denominator is 3, so we divide this interval between 0 and plus 1 into 3 equal subintervals. How? By putting 2 more submarks in between 0 and plus 1, namely 1 by 3 and 2 by 3. Let us go to the number line part. See over here, this is the number line and this is the 0 mark, this is the plus 1 mark, this is the minus 1 mark, these are the negative numbers portion. All the points lying to the left of 0 mark represent negative numbers, and the right hand side of the 0 mark is represented by, every point is represented by a positive number. So 2 by 3 will be lying in this range, in this interval 0 and 1. So since the denominator is 3, we divide this interval between 0 and 1 into 3 equal subintervals by putting 2 submarks. Now, what will these submarks represent? Which number will they represent? For this, now 0, 1, these are integers, as well as these are rational numbers as well, because we know every integer is a rational number. So can we represent these two integers in the form of rational number, in the form that we represent a rational number, that is in the form of x by y, having the denominator as 3. Since we are having 3 as the denominator, we will be keeping that denominator. So 0 can be represented, if we have the denominator as 3, 0 will be represented by the number, rational number 0 by 3, because the numerator should be equal to 0. 0 by 3 will be equal to 0. So if we put the denominator as 3, the numerator should be equal to 0 to have the number 0. And for a plus 1, again we will be taking the denominator as 3. So what will be the numerator? The numerator will be 3 as well, because 3 by 3, 3 and 3 get cancelled and we will be having a 1. So the interval is between 0 by 3 and 3 by 3. And in between we are having 2 submarks. So the first one, since it is the first submark, we will be having the numerator as 1. So this all will be having the denominator as 3. Since it is the first submark, it is 1 in the numerator, and since it is the second submark, we are having 2 in the numerator and as usual 3 in the denominator. So the 2 by 3, the numerator indicates which submark we will be taking. That is the starting from the first submark, we will be taking the second submark. Because the first one is 1 by 3. Since it is the first, so the numerator is 1, and this is the second one, so the numerator is 2. So we have found the position of this rational number 2 by 3 on the number line. Next, let us take up a negative rational number of the type which falls in the case 1 type, because the numerator is less than the denominator. So we have to plot minus 3 by 4 on the number line, and let us first of all move to the text part. Minus 3 by 4 is a negative rational number. Hence, it will lie to the left of 0, obviously, because all the negative numbers are to the left of 0. Now on the number line, to the left of 0 and to the right of minus 1. Because it is a rational number of the type where the numerator is less than the denominator, that is, it falls under the case 1. So this will be positioned in between 0 and -1. This will be positioned between 0 and -1. Now we will be looking at the denominator. Since the denominator is 4, we have to divide this interval between 0 and -1 into 4 equal subparts by putting 3 more submarks in between. So let us just go back to the number line part. See, this is the 0 mark and this is the -1 mark. So we have divided this entire interval into 4 equal sub-intervals because we are having the denominator of 4. And now coming to the numbering of these 3 submarks. Since the denominator is 4, we will be representing this 0 by a rational number having the denominator as 4. Obviously, the numerator will be 0 for 0. 0 equal to 0 by 4. And for -1, there should be a minus sign in front. And the denominator will be 4. So the numerator will also be 4 because 4 by 4 will be giving us a 1. And this minus sign is there in front. And now coming to the 3 submarks. We always start from the 0. So the first submark starting from the 0 is 1, the first submark, and all the numbers lying to the left of 0 are negative numbers. So every number will be having a minus sign in front, and it will be, the 4 is common, the denominator is common. Since it is the first submark, it is -1 by 4, this is -2 by 4. All are having 4 as the common denominator. This is the first submark, so it is having a 1 in the numerator, this is having a 2, and this is having a 3. And of course, all are negative numbers. So every number is having a minus sign in front. So now we have got our required -3 by 4 on the number line. This is the position of -3 by 4, the rational number -3 by 4 on the number line. We have found it. Okay. Now we will be moving to case 2. Case 2. Case 2 deals with rational numbers where the numerator is more than the denominator. Like it may be 7 by 3. It may be -5 by 2. The numerator should be more than the denominator. This is case 2. So for numbers which have their numerators more than their denominators, we separate them into 2 parts, namely the integral and the non-integral parts. We start with the respective integral mark and follow the rule of case 1 for the non-integral parts. Let us just see how do we divide, how do we separate this rational number into 2 parts. So let us take up the first one, 7 by 3. 7 by 3. So 7 by 3 can be written as what? It can be written as 6 by 3 plus 1 by 3. Right? And what is 6 by 3? 6 by 3 is nothing but a 2. So it is 2 plus 1/3, 1 by 3. So 2 is the integral part and 1 by 3 is the non-integral part. Okay, this way we separate this rational number into 2 parts, one of one of these two parts is an integral part and the other is a non-integral part. Similarly, we can separate 5 by 2. 5 by 2, it is a minus in front. So 5 by 2 will be equal to minus 4 by 2 plus minus 1 by 2. And what is minus 4 by 2? It is nothing but minus 2. So we are having minus 2 plus minus half. This way we separate the two parts. One will be the integral part and the second will be the non-integral part. Okay. So we are taking the first example as 5 by 2. Let us go to the text part. The number is 5 by 2. So we have separated this 5 by 2 into two parts. One is 2 and the other is half, because we have done minus 5 by 2. Same is the case with plus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 is equal to 4 by 2 plus half 1 by 2, which is in turn equal to 2 plus 1 by 2. So we are getting 5 by 2 equal to 2 plus 1 by 2. Now we start from the integer mark 2. Because we are having this integer as 2, so we'll be starting from the integer mark 2. Obviously, since the number is a positive 1, so it will be lying to the right side of the 0 mark. So we'll be taking the integer mark 2 and 2 plus, so it is more than 2, so it will be lying to the right side of 2. Okay. Obviously, because 5 by 2 is more than 2, we have to add 1 by 2 to 2 or half to 2 to get a 5 by 2. So it will be lying on the right side of this integer 2. So what will be the interval that has to be taken? First of all, we have to decide what interval should we take. So one of the numbers is 2. And which one will be the second number? We will be taking 3, because it will be lying to the right of 2. So we will be taking the next higher integer. For positive rational numbers, we will be taking the next higher integer. Okay, the left integer will be given by this part, the integral part, and we will be taking the next higher integer to get the other number for the interval. Now we have got the interval. This 5 by 2 will be lying between 2 and 3. And since the number in the denominator is 2, we will be dividing this interval between 2 and 3 into 2 equal subparts by adding an extra mark between them. Okay. And the number 2 can be written as 4 by 2. We have done that. So the newly added mark becomes 5 by 2 and the mark 3 coincides with the mark 6 by 2. So let us see. Over here, see, this is the 2 mark and this is the 3 mark. And we have divided this interval between 2 and 3 into 2 equal subparts by putting this extra mark in between. Now 2 can be written as 4 by 2. Since we are having the denominator as 2, so we will be having the denominator as 2 for every number. So the numerator becomes a 4 for this integer 2 and it is a 6 for the integer 3. So this mark is the midway between 4 by 2 and 6 by 2. So obviously it is 5 by 2. If we start from the very beginning, 0 can be represented as 0 by 2 and 1 is obviously 2 by 2. So the mark which is just lying in the middle of this interval between 0 and 1, that is 0 by 2 and 2 by 2, is obviously 1 by 2. Again, between 1 and 2, that is 2 by 2 and 4 by 2, this is the halfway mark, so it is 3 by 2. Next is 5 by 2. This way it goes on. Okay, so we have got the position of this rational number 5 by 2. Next is minus 4 by 3. Now it is a negative rational number and also it belongs to the case 2 type because the numerator is more than the denominator. So now first of all we will be separating this into two parts. One is the integral part and the other is the non-integral part. How do we do that? 4 by 3, minus 4 by 3. This can be written as minus 4 by 3 is equal to minus 3 by 3 plus minus 1 by 3. And minus 3 by 3 is nothing but a minus 1. So it is minus 1 plus minus 1 by 3. So we have minus 4 by 3 equal to minus 1 plus minus 1 by 3. Okay. Now we will be starting from this minus 1 integral mark. This is the number that we will be starting with. And since we have to get the interval, we have to get the other number as well. See now, minus 1 by 3 has to be added to minus 1 to get a minus 4 by 3. And minus 1 by 3, every negative number it lies on the left hand side of the mark 0. And if we add something negative to a number, we know its value decreases. If we add a minus half to a plus 1, what do we get? If we add a minus half to a plus 1, we get a plus half, right? If we add, we have a plus 1 and we are adding a minus half. So what do we get? We get a plus half. So originally we were having a plus 1. Now we are having a plus half. So this one, the value gets decreased to half. So whenever we add something negative to any number, its value decreases. That is, it becomes more negative. So this minus 4 by 3 will be lying to the left hand side of minus 1, because minus 4 by 3, the value of minus 4 by 3 is less than the value of minus 1. So it will be lying to the left hand side of this minus 1 integral mark. So we will be taking the next lower integer. In the case of negative rational numbers of case 2 type, we will be taking the one of the numbers will be obtained from here and the other number will be the next lower integer. So we are taking the interval between -1 and -2. So -4/3 will be lying between -1 and -2. Now since the denominator is 3, so what do? We divide this whole interval between -1 and -2 into 3 equal subparts by putting 2 extra marks in between. So let us go back to the number line page. Okay. So over here you see that this is 0, this is -1 and this is -2. And -4/3 will be lying between this range -1 and -2. Okay. Now since the denominator is 3, so we can represent every integer with denominator as 3. So 0 will be 0/3, -1 will be -3/3, and -2 will be -6/3. So if the counting starts from 0 always, therefore we have divided this interval between 0 and -1 into 3 subparts as well. We could have skipped this part. If we start from this -1 is -3/3, so the next one will be -3 -1, because all these are minus, so -1 will be getting added to each number. So -3 plus -1 will be giving us a -4. -4 plus 1 will be giving us a -5. -5 plus -1 is -6. This way it goes on. So if we start from this 0 mark, the first sub mark will be, since it is the first sub mark after 0, it will be having the numerator as 1. So this is -1/3. Now this is the second submark, so it is -2/3. Or we can say we add a -1 to this -1, that is -1 plus a -1 gives us a -2, and we get -2. And if we add -2 plus -1, this is equal to -3. We get a -3 as -1. -3/3 is -1. To that, if we add again a -1, we get, this is equal to -4. Okay, so it is -4. So we have got the position of the rational number -4/3 on the number line. It will be lying at this position. It is represented by this mark. -4/3 is represented by this mark on the number line. So we have found the position of -4/3, the rational number -4/3 on the number line. So students, we have dealt with 2 cases. Case 1 is the rational numbers having the numerators less than the denominators, and we have taken 2 examples. One is the positive rational number and the second was the negative rational number for case 1, as well as for case 2. Case 2 deals with rational numbers which have their numerators bigger than the denominators. Like in this case, 4 is more than 3. So we have taken 2 cases for case 2 as well. One is a positive number and the second is a negative number. So let us stop over here for now. Thank you for hearing.